today we're going to take a look at comic hunters, specifically Marvel comic hunters. Are they going to do a DC? Are they going to expand? I don't know, but I'd like it. And this is a 1 to 4 player game from Spin Master, and I'm going to show you how to do the setup for a multiplayer and the way I like to play it, which is solo. So let's just get into it. Your rule book. I don't need that. This handy dandy thing right here is your player board. Now I did take the time to put everything into sleeves, but your player board is where you're going to track everything about this game. Okay? From what heroes are currently the most valuable, to the schedule that you're going to be adhering to, as well as what you're... It is kinda tells you what you're supposed to do with each store action. Honestly, it's more of a reminder. Like, you can cut that off. Okay? Cut it off, make it a bifold. You don't need it. Alright? The highlights are really neat, because the highlights change each game you're playing, and they can say that maybe you're looking for first appearances, maybe you're looking for cameos, or you're looking for verses, or other things. And the more that you have of that type, the more you'll go up on these tracks, and the more points you'll get at the end of the game. This is your secret stash points. You use these when you're bidding, and we'll get into that. But yeah, this is basically the setup. Okay. Now again, I have everything in sleeves, but all of your cards are going to have a picture of the Marvel comic book, the hero that's associated with it, any highlights, and this text is just shows you what the issue is when it came out. And this number here is the value of it. So that's a 2, that's a 1, and there are 3s. And what they do is they say how rare or how old is the comic book. So for instance, these newer ones, are a 1. Okay, they're from like the 2000s. The years as far as that goes. This is your late 70s to 90s, and then the older ones, the 3 values, are your 50s, 60s, and so on. So let's get these organized, and we'll show you how to set everything up. Alright, we have everything organized, and we're going to set this sucker up for a 3-player game, just so you can see how that works. With a 3-player game, or 2-player, or 1 really, you have to take out 2 of the possible heroes that you're going to be playing as. And of course we have Strange, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Black Panther. Now why did I put these tokens in these coin capsules? Because they are horrible. They are some of the worst tokens I have ever seen. Except for Lorcana. Lorcana has worse. At least these are a little thicker than those. But I'm going to take these 2, and I'm dropping 2 tokens right in the box. I don't even see what they are. Okay? We got the cards separated into rank 3, 2, and 1, and we'll get to them in a second. So we put 1 hero right here. Oh, so Captain America is our most sought after. Okay? Then we take the next 2 heroes. So Black Widow and Black Panther. And then the final 3 on the smaller track. Which means, yeah, they're worth something, but not nearly as much as these. And I wish I could get these capsules smaller, but I didn't have them. Maybe I'll have to look for them. We take our decks. Now the decks, the other nice thing about the numbers is it tells you right here which number deck is used for each section. But once you've played this a couple of times, you're just going to know. So I'm going to take deck 3, shuffle this sucker up. 3, 1, and I know that probably just gave somebody OCD, but you'll be alright. and 2. Now why did we do this? Well, that just sets up the decks for each of these. Then we have a 4th deck that we have to make called the convention deck. The convention deck is only going to be used when we go to the convention. But we set it up ahead of time. And since we're doing 3 players, we take 10 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, from each stack. And then we take them, and we are going to be adding and removing from this convention stack throughout the game. Anytime we discard cards, we'll be adding to it. So, there's our convention stack. So let's see, we got to get the highlights out. So we'll shuffle these up here. First one that fell out was first appearance. Oh, that's a number 1 issue. Then we get first appearance, followed by what the heck the diamond one means, like a significant event or something like that. I know there's a big battle versus one, and then a new look, which means you get a new costume. Yeah. And then anytime you get these comic cards and you collect them, which we'll show you, then you score yourself on these tracks. So we're going to put orange, a green, and this is why, again, I wish I had smaller of these capsules. And it also doesn't hurt that I play solo, so I don't really have to worry so much about it. And there we go. These all go on 15, because we all start at 15 in the secret stash. Secret stash is going to be used when we're bidding at the auctions and so on. Alright. So that's pretty much what there is for setup to start with. So how do we play it? Well, there's going to be 3 rounds, 2 different stages per round. This main stage, where we're actually collecting, and then when we assemble our collection. And there's 4. I know, it can get confusing. There's 4 different types of actions we can do, and this board tells us which ones we do each time. So first thing we're going to do is go to the store, and then we're going to do a flea market, then a convention, then a store, auction, convention, then flea market, auction, convention. See the pattern? So what does the store do? Well, I'm glad you asked. The store, because it's a number 1, we take cards from the number 1 deck. We take 4 cards each. So this person gets 4 cards, and then another one gets 4 cards, and then somebody else gets 4 cards. And what do you do with them? Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay. You are going to, what you're trying to do in this game is make collections of comic books. A collection is 2 or more. In order to count for scoring, you need 3 of the same hero in that collection. And that's what a collection is. It's a set of cards that are related to a certain hero. For instance, since we have Captain America, I might keep this card, since he's the top in the collection. And then what I do is I pass these off to the left. Same thing with this person. This person might keep this one, because not only is it Black Panther, but it's also Captain America. Now the thing is, when it counts for a collection, you only pick 1. So you only pick which collection it's going to go into. So if this were mine, I would say, yeah, that's going into the Captain America collection. But this is just the draft. The store is a draft. Okay, that's really all it is. And you keep passing these cards around until each of you has the 4 cards. Okay? And that's it. They go into your hand. The flea market is a bit more advanced. And it can be confusing for some. What you do is you lay out a starting grid. I'm going to move this down. You lay out a starting grid of cards, okay, based on the number of players. Now we said we're going to have 3 players, so we have these. Okay, and on your turn, you're going to reveal a card from the number 2 deck, because that's what the flea market uses, and you're going to put it into one of the rows. Okay, Now let's say you don't want to put cards, and you can have at most, you can have 4 cards in each row. At any time on your turn, if you don't want to pick a card and put it out, you can say, I'm going to collect them, and you take all of the cards. And then the other players keep going until they decide that they're ready to pick them up. And that's really what the flea market is. So, yeah, it's just a way to get more cards into your hand by taking a risk. Do you want to get the cards that you really, really want early? But then that leaves it out where you don't have access to the extras. And then, well, you know what? We're not going to do convention yet. Let's show you the auction site. So the auction site is where you're going to try to make different lots of comic books. All right, and each lot of comics you're going to be bidding on. And, well, easiest just to show you. So since it's the deck 3, we take the cards from deck 3. We make one row of 5 cards. Make one row of 4 cards and one row of 3. Now, if we had a 4th player, we would make this row 4 cards and then another row of 3. So the first player, whoever has Stan Lee's glasses, okay, is going to say, this is the lot of comics that we're bidding on. So you will pick, as the first player, let's say we pick this set. And it has Avengers, Journey into Mystery, The Incredible Hulk, and it has a Thor comic. More importantly, it has 2 Thors, which is down here. It has a Captain America, which is here. And it has Hulk, which is also here. So if you're looking to make a collection, it's not a bad one to start with. But let's say this is the one we want. We each take turn bidding until everybody passes. Okay? So let's say I said I'm going to give 3 for this lot of comic books. I'm going to give 3 from my secret stash. You say, I'm going to give 4. Well, darn it. Now I got to go higher, or else you're going to win. And again, third player might outbid you, and then we keep going and going and going until everybody passes. The person that bid the highest spends that much from their secret stash. But they get those comics. Now, here's the thing. We're going to have, let's see, 2 different auctions. So you got to remember that when you're doing this. You can never go under what your last thing is. So if you bid down to here, you can only bid 3, because that's all you got. 1, 2, 3. And then you're done. Because at the end of the game, when we do the scoring, whatever's left, whatever you have left, counts as victory points towards the end. And then, after somebody, doesn't even matter if it's the first person, whoever wins is out of the bidding, and those cards get added to their hand. And then the rest of you bid on these. So let's say we'll bid on this one next. I'm only going to give 2 for that, you know? And then if I win, boom, I get 2. So what happens then to this? So after everybody's purchased cards, let's say they've bought these, and there's only 1 row left, and 1 player has not purchased, you have the option of purchasing each of the individual comics for their value. So for instance, let's say you really wanted this Captain America one, you would pay 3 for it. 1, 2, 3. Okay? The rest of them, you can buy 1, 2, 3, you can buy more than whatever you need. But they get added to the convention deck. We said the convention deck was going to grow and shrink as we play. Okay? And this would get added to the third player's hand. The convention can be a little bit confusing, especially if you've never played before. Alright? So the convention works like this. And this one takes up quite a bit of table space, I'm not going to lie to you. So let's shuffle, shuffle. I'm going to slide this down even further. We should be good there. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because what you need to do with the convention is make a 5x5 grid out of your convention cards, but leave that center blank. And there we go. And this is what's left of your convention deck after. So how the convention works is this. On your turn, what you do is you take a card and slide it into an empty space. Okay? So let's say I take, we'll do it to show. So I'm going to slide Doctor Strange here. And I'm going to then claim all of the cards of one hero of my choice. So I'm going to say I want all Doctor Strange cards. Now, Doctor Strange isn't out on this here, but so I would not have claimed him. But just to show you how it works, that's what it is. And then you put him in your hand. And everybody gets 2 chances at this. It goes player 1, 2, 3, then 3, 2, 1. So the last player will get to go twice in a row. Now, on player 2's turn, they can say, I really like this, so I'm going to slide Spider-Man to here, and I'm going to take all Spider-Man. Or they could even slide him down to here if they wanted for some reason. I wouldn't know why, but they could. So let's say I do this, and I take all the Spider-Man for player 2. Player 3 goes, darn it, I really wanted to insert whatever card is here. Slide it all the way up, and I'm going to take all of the Hulk cards. Maybe they want to make a Hulk collection. And 3 would go again. Slide this one to here, and take all Captain America. Then 2, and you get the idea of where we're going with this. Bring 2 up to here, take all the Spider-Man, and just for the giggles of it, slide this one over here and take all the Black Widow for player 1. Now what happens with the rest of these? I'm glad you asked. They go back in the convention deck. Now, at the end of the turn, normally you're not going to have a stack like this. Okay, you're not going to have this. Because, well, we went through all of the different options. But it's fine. We're just showing you what each one does. What do you do next? Well, next is called the assembling your collection. Alright? Assembling your collection means you're going to pay for cards that you want to keep in order to make a collection. So, which ones are these? These are a 2 and a 1. Let's put these, so we don't care. So I'm going to lay out all of my cards and organize them into possible collections. Now, the more, see that's how scoring it, we'll explain scoring then. It's not a bad Black Widow start. There's another one. Yeah, that's a good Black Widow collection right there. See, what at the end, when you score, you're going to say how many different collections you have. Okay? Whoever has the most comics in each collection. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Black Widows. Well, that might be enough to make it that I have the most Black Widow collection. So it'll give me the most points for that. Or maybe not. But here's the problem. One, we have cards like this that are multi. So I'm going to, since we don't have Doctor Strange out here, but we do have Hulk, I'm going to say you're not a Strange card, you're a Hulk card. And I'm going to keep them with the Hulk. Now we only have 2 Thors. Now 2 Thors is enough to start a collection, but it's not enough to score one. We need at least 3. And we can always add to these and move things around later. Okay, but when we're assembling our collection, we lay out the cards and we decide which ones we want to keep. And we have to pay for them with other cards. So let's pretend I wanted to keep these 2 Captain Americas. Okay? So that's 3, 4 that it's going to cost me already. And then I really like this giant run of Black Widow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points I got to spend here. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points I got to spend. Well, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So these would get shuffled into the convention. Here's the problem. I have these 3 cards I did not pay for yet. I'm going to keep. See, we can't keep them. Darn. There's not enough. I don't have enough to pay to start the collection, and that's not enough to start a collection. Because you need at least 2 to start one. So they would all be gone. So at the end of all of that, this is where what my collection looks like. I have this set of Black Widows so far, and we would go through 2 more rounds and collecting more and more comics, right? And I have these 2 of Captain America. So these hero symbols are going to matter for end of game scoring, and so will these. So I got 1 versus, and so I would move my thing up on versus if it was out here. What about, nope, no costume. So it would be 1 on here, so I would move to the 1 on here. Better to do it at the end of the game, to be honest. I don't know why they have it as a track. Just add them up at the end of the game. You know, you can see which 3 are chosen. Just add those up at the end. That doesn't make sense to me. So we could have shortened this board by a lot. I like having this on here. I'm okay with having the highlights and saying who gets the most points, like what's their score there. I'm good with having this, showing how many different collections you have. Right now I only have 2 collections. I wouldn't score on this at all. I'm good with this. Cup of coffee is stupid. I don't see the point of that. And the pen, same thing with the ruler here. This is just a reminder of what the different stages could, look like. It's not necessary, so you could actually shrink this board quite a bit. The way I would see it. But again, so you'll go through and you will then score your collection at the end of the game. The one with the most points is going to win. Now, let's say we're going to pause it here. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do solo mode. Wow. Okay, so we're back, and this is pretty much what you're going to do for a solo mode. It looks similar to multiplayer, but it's got a little bit of difference. Just like if you're playing with 3, you remove 2 heroes instead of using all of them. And the convention deck, instead of having 10, 10, 10, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If this gets 10 again, I'm freaking out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is just too creepy. It's just too creepy. But that is your convention deck to start in a solo mode. And in the solo mode, you're playing against Jarvis. Because I guess the Avengers left, he's bored. I mean, what are you going to do? You're cleaning Avengers Mansion, right? So yeah, so this is you against Jarvis. And you set it up as if you were playing a 2 to 3 player game, which is what we've done here. And you go through the same steps, but they are a little bit different. So for instance, with the store, now normally the store was a draft. It still kind of is, but there is an important difference. So you get 3 cards to start at the store instead of 4, but you're thinking to yourself, how the heck can we draft with Jarvis? He doesn't exist yet. Well, this is how. You pick 2 cards to keep, okay? So let's say I pick these 2. Jarvis gets the other one. Now Jarvis starts a collection with 1 card. So he's always collecting. He's always got cards going. And you do this twice. So I take 3 more cards. And obviously I wouldn't normally be setting them out. There's a heck of a decision, isn't it? So I would look at these two. They're both Captain America, which is the top. But this one has a first appearance, which is what I need for here. So I would keep this one. And you know what? Yeah, I'm going to keep this one too. So he gets another one for a Doctor Strange collection. Okay, and he can, you know, get these points at the end of the game, but these won't count towards any collections because it's not one of the heroes that are out here. So that won't count for Jarvis that way. But believe me, Jarvis is no pushover as far as that goes. So we have our 4 cards. So with the flea market, that's the next section. It's similar to the original flea market. Normally you'd make a number of rows per character, but we're going to make 3 because that's what we do for this one. Okay. And on your turn, you're going to do something similar. Okay. Whether you're going to either buy the lot from the flea market or you're going to keep playing. I will draw this card and I'm going to put him right here. Now you do have a limit: 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards. Just so you know. Now Jarvis, what he does is he takes his card, he says, where is it on this? If it's not on there, it goes to the lowest. And then we keep playing until I got a Doctor Strange. I'm going to put Doctor Strange here. Jarvis has Captain America. Captain America's on the top. So he puts... Now what if Jarvis draws another Captain America? Well, then it goes into the next row. If it can't fit in the next row, then it goes to the one down. And then you can say at any time, I'm picking a row, and then those are yours. Okay? But Jarvis keeps playing. He's going to fill all the rows, and then he gets the largest row that's left. The rest of them, guess where they go? That's right, convention deck. And don't forget, Jarvis sets out all of his cards as collections right away. So he has a 3 Spider-Man collection and a 1 Captain America. Again, Spider-Man's not on here. And then we would do convention and then assemble the collection thing just like normal. But I want to do, because auction is next, I want to show you how to do an auction with Jarvis. Auctions are a little bit different with Jarvis. We make a row of 4, and normally I have this much more spread out, but for the camera, we got to keep it compact. We have a row of 4 and a row of 3. Alright, now if the player gets to decide which row they want to buy, the smaller row only costs 1 of your secret stash. I forgot to put a marker for Jarvis. I am going to give him yellow. The larger row costs 5. So if I want to buy this row for my collection, I pay my 1, and Jarvis gets this row, and he pays his 5. Now, why would I do that? Well, yes, I'm getting fewer cards, giving him more of a chance to get collections. Okay? Because again, Jarvis's things instantly go into collections. But that also means he has fewer points at the end of the game when we score the secret stash. And then last but not least, we have the convention. Now the convention is vastly different for Jarvis. I'm gonna pick up Jarvis's cards because we're gonna need the room. Okay. We're going to do the usual, and we will slide this sucker all the way until we get to the part of the frame that we need. And we're taking the convention deck. We have 1, 2, see, if you remember from the multiplayer, we build a 5x5 grid. 1, 2, 3. And we do the same thing here, except get Jarvis's cards out of there. We do that, and we only put the one in the middle. So you see how that one's different. Put the rest of our thing here. Okay? We're going to get at the Jarvis does not play at all in the convention. Okay? He doesn't have time to go to conventions. So Jarvis sits at home and collects. He's checking out his collection. I don't care what he's doing, but he does not go to conventions. So what the player does is they take 4 turns. They play, discard, play, and discard. And play is just like the regular game. So let's say I take this Captain America and I move it up to here and I say I want to collect Captain America. Good job. Thanks me. So I claim those 2 cards. Then we have to do a discard phase. So I'm going to slide this one up here. I'm going to say I'm going to discard Iron Man. These 2 discarded cards, okay, go back into the convention deck. I'm not going to slide any, and I'm going to claim these 2 Black Panthers. Then I will slide Doctor Strange anywhere. Do I want to slide? I don't need to slide. I'll just discard them. Now, you may, if that's my 4, you may want to slide and discard cards that have heroes you might otherwise want. So for instance, let's say instead of doing that with Strange, I do it with Thor. Well, I'm discarding Thor. Now, why would I do that? Because at the end of your 4 turns, all of these cards go to Jarvis. When I tell you he is difficult, he's going to get collections like you have no idea. And you play through just like a normal game, 3 full rounds just like this, and then score Jarvis's points, and then score your points, and see who has the best collection. Now, at the end of each of those sections, you still, because Jarvis is always completing his collection, you still have to go through your cards and pay for your collection. Now, why Jarvis doesn't have to pay for his collection, I'm not sure. I wasn't there for that design meeting. But as you can see, I'll even bring out the rules here. This is all solo mode really is for the setup. They don't list the assemble collection here, but they don't say you don't do it. The only thing it really says is Jarvis builds his collection directly, which is why he gets fewer and fewer cards at the other spots. So that's where we're sitting at with that. So again, after each of these rounds, you would go through, assemble your collection, Jarvis would assemble his, or just keep them stacked, and then figure out his points at the end of the game. But the scoring is going to be the same way as with a regular game, and then whoever has the most points wins. And that's really all there is for Comic Hunters. Do I like it? So far, yeah, I haven't had tons of time to play it because it just came out. But from what I have played, I like it. Especially, I like the solo. It's crazy difficult, don't get me wrong. But you can get this, I think for like $20 or something like that, $25 at Barnes & Noble. That's where I got it. Highly recommend you go out and check it out. I am hoping that they do more expansions and give you more heroes to, more collections, maybe more of these highlights. Hell, throw DC Comics in here too, I don't care. All it really is a comic book cover and a symbol. So, that's all that is. Appreciate you stopping in. Have fun until next time.